I just want to say how very sorry I am for...
She should be locked up until she tells us what happened.
The truth is that I want an answer just as bad as all of you.
We're talking about 17 kids in one classroom. I want to know what happened in that classroom. Why just her classroom? Why only her?
They are our children.
I love those kids.
All right. One of my most anticipated movies of the year finally came out. Weapons. So I'm a big fan of Barbarian. In fact, I've actually liked it more since the first time I saw it. And was really excited to see what this was because I loved how the teasers and then the trailers practically gave nothing away. It just said, okay, here's the main MacGuffin, and it's just nuts. And that's pretty much exactly what this movie is. It's just crazy. So, if you don't know this movie, it is about a small town where at 2:17 in the morning, a whole classroom of kids just get up and leave. Like they just disappear into the night. And nobody knows like what happened. They figure out that, okay, none of them coordinated anything. There was no like plot to do any of this. They don't know what is happening. So it's kind of the effect on this small town where you have the teacher who is Juila Garner, who is kind of being seen as the culprit, even though there's no evidence that she's done anything. And you also have Josh Brolin, who plays one of the parents, trying to figure out what happened. And that's all I'm going to say, because the movie just is crazy. So this was just crazy. I was really excited for this movie, and it did not disappoint at all. Like I said, I really enjoyed Barbarian, and I really enjoyed this too. And I loved how the teasers and trailers don't say anything, because that's part of the fun and mystery of it, is it not being spelled out for you. And this movie goes in just a lot of different directions that it's just like, what is happening? So like you're constantly feeling emotions, like you're scared, and then it's then funny, then you're on edge again. It's just, it's a roller coaster ride. So the performances in this are great. No one felt flat or not written well. I think Zach Creeger is great when it comes to dialogue and actors. And he does it well with this. He continues to do it well with this. Originally, Josh Brolin was not in this. It was going to be Pedro Pascal. And as much as I like Pascal as an actor, once I saw Brolin in this, I think Brolin did a better job than Pascal could have. You know, as much as I liked Pascal, I think he played Joel in The Last of Us extremely well. But I don't know. Brolin can make anything just great. You know, even if a movie's not all that great, he can salvage something. And Juila Garner was really good in this too. I still have not seen the Fantastic Four movie, and I saw the Wolfman movie that came out earlier this year, which, to be honest, I'm just going to say it, I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. Do I have problems with it? Yes, but is it all that bad? No. Okay, moving on. And this movie flip-flops between characters a lot. So I want to keep this, like, not spoil a lot. It hops around all over the place. Like, it switches between characters a lot. But it really came together really, really tight. And I think that's because, like, the script was so tight, and especially the editing was exceptionally tight. So I didn't see any error. I didn't see any spot where I'm like, okay, that wasn't needed, or okay, you could have reworked this. I really liked the score. It felt like a mixture of different stuff happening. Like, it goes from kind of like little orchestral parts, and then it goes into kind of like, not synthesized stuff, but more like that kind of, stuff. And then it goes to like, almost like little aspects of dubstep in there. And it's like, this really is all over the place, but this works. This works really well. Much like Barbarian, I couldn't predict what the film was going to do next, because it was like, this can go all over the place. And it does. And the last like 15 minutes, while it is intense, I was laughing my ass off the whole time, because it's something where it's like, yeah, I guess if you were in the moment, that it could be intense and frightening. But if you look at the outskirts of it, it's hilarious. And that's even something Creeger said, is just like, you know, it's something where it's like, that's so ridiculous. But it works. And I'm not going to lie, actually, I had tears in my eyes from laughing so hard. And it's just like, it goes from being intense to then funny to then gory, like actually really gory. Like it makes some scenes from Barbarian look childish by comparison. And so you were feeling a whole bunch of emotions. And the theater I actually was in, I was laughing so hard that actually some people around me were just kind of like, what are you laughing at? And I'm like, dark comedies are stuff that I find funny. I find those more funnier than just regular comedies. So, while this isn't a dark comedy, it's a mystery horror. It's a horror mystery with little bits of comedy in there. I mean, there's a scene where, this isn't a spoiler, but, where Julie Garner's character's in a bar, and in walks, the cop, who is, Aiden, I can't remember his last name, but he was, Han Solo. He was young Han Solo. And, she's like, oh, let me buy you a drink. And he keeps like going like, no, I gotta get up in the morning. I gotta go to work. And then eventually, like, she's like, come on, just let me buy you a drink. And he goes, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have a Coke. And it was like, okay. Like, okay, that's funny. That's funny. Because that is kind of one of those, like, yeah, I'd do the same thing. Like, I would be like, no, I'm good. But if they keep like pressuring you, I'd just be like, you know what? I'm just going to order a soft drink or order a water or something like that. Just so they shut up. So that's kind of the humor this movie goes for. But you know, when it comes to like the horror, it just keeps and the intensity, it just keeps like building and building and building, and especially the mystery as well. To then you're just like, I don't know what is going on. And then I heard that they actually have an idea for a Weapons sequel and a prequel. Well, I'm going to say, I think the prequel could be cool. I don't think it's necessary, because part of the fun of this was just like no backstory. I won't say who or what, but it's just like, there was no backstory to this. It was just in the moment. And if if a moment ever, like, if this kind of thing happens, yeah, it's not something where it's like the villains are going to be like, not every villain has to be like, like, oh, I've had this anger for 15 years. It's just like, no, you don't need to go through your backstory. We don't need to know your backstory. And that was part of the interesting part of what made certain things interesting. And so while I think a prequel and maybe a sequel would be cool, is it necessary? I don't think so. I think this works as just one. But this did not disappoint. This is one of my most anticipated films of the year, and man, did it not disappoint. I really enjoyed Barbarian, and I really enjoyed this too. I feel like Creeger had more freedom with this one than his previous one, but that's just me. I could be completely wrong on that one. Now he's going to do a new Resident Evil movie, which he said was going to be set in the game universe, because he's seen none of the movies. And it's like, yeah, you made a good point on that one. You're okay. But will this make the top of my list of the year? It'll probably be. I would give this maybe a low amazing, because I really enjoyed this movie. I still think Sinners and Companion are above this one, but man, this movie did not disappoint. And yeah, this is a movie where I'm like, I need to show this to people, because it's like, this is just awesome.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Are you watching? Are you watching?